Hi, I'm Mona, and if you're here, you found Kaleidoscope Dreams Tarot. This is an I Love Mermaids and Unicorns reading for July 1st, 2020. Of course, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you see it is when it was meant for you. I would also like to say, please do not live your life by the tarot. It is you who creates your own destiny. You're intelligent, handsome, or beautiful, and you're kind. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share these videos. Somebody may be enlightened by them. Now, these readings, they may or may not resonate. To my subscribers, welcome back. And to any new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. You are the backbone to this channel, and I greatly appreciate you. So let's get started with that I Love Mermaids and Unicorns reading, which is a timeless reading. We're going to go ahead and find out the general energy. These cards have been pre-shuffled, but of course I'm going to get an extra shuffle in just for the general energy of today's reading. General energy for this I Love Mermaids and Unicorn reading is... Wow. So we do have the King of Swords right here. And this King of Swords is somebody who is a person of wisdom, experience, and authority. This is a person who's been through a lot, because in this deck it's also the Emperor. And the Emperor has all the qualities of all the kings. Now, this could be male or female energy. This is male, but you can be a male or female in this energy. How about that? If you are a male in this energy, definitely in your power, you know, having that wisdom, experience, and authority. And if you're a female, you can also be in that energy, possibly standing in your own power, having boundaries, and having the experience and wisdom that is brought in by a male energy. But like I said, you can be a female in the King energy, or even the Emperor energy. So let's go ahead and find out what is going on here for this I Love Mermaids and Unicorn reading. This is for the general collective. And we're going to find out about you as you are. Right? You as you are. Let me get a card for the viewer. How they are at this present time. So we have the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is a person who actually wants to have a conversation, right? Somebody sees something on their path and possibly want to head towards that path. And they know they have to have a certain type of conversation with a certain individual, right? Some sort of debate. But it's passionate nonetheless. What can you tell us about the individual who's watching the video? Are they on the correct path? Okay, so we do have the Nine of Cups, and it appears that somebody here, you or the person in question, might be seeing you as wish fulfillment, or you see another person as wish fulfillment, right? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be a goal. It could be something that you're striving for, something to complete, right? A project. So let's find out what the main obstacle for you is. What is... Okay. We've got two cards that fell out. Oh, we got three cards that fell out. Okay, so this was closest to the mat, so we're going to take that first. We have the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords in this deck is also the Chariot. So there might have been some deception in somebody's life here. But I also see that somebody is definitely wanting to move away from this deception, wanting to have a triumph in their situation, and they're going to come up with some sort of inventive solution. The other cards that fell out were the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. So with the Eight of Swords, I do see somebody is looking for justice, because this is also the Justice card. This is about reason and fairness. We also have the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is indicating to me some sort of comfort achieved through work and persistence. So I'm going to go ahead and put these cards back. We're going to go ahead and continue with the reading. And the main obstacle here definitely is moving forward, moving away from a trying situation, something that has brought possible heartache or some deception of some sort. Let's find out what is helping you. What is helping the viewer with this I Love Mermaids and Unicorn reading? Alright, so we have the Three of Swords. And we all know the Three of Swords is definitely about heartbreak, okay? So there was some heartbreak here. Now, the Three of Swords, it also indicates to me that somebody is moving beyond sorrow. They're starting to understand their own feelings. And how interesting that all these cards that have come out are the mermaid cards. Okay. So it appears that this Three of Swords, this heartbreak, is actually helping an individual to realize their self-worth, possibly realizing that that they can move on beyond this sorrow, right? They finally understand their own feelings, and they're not going to fight those feelings anymore. This heartbreak has actually caused a shift in a person's perception on love. Let's go ahead and find out, how can progress be made? How can progress be made for the viewer in their situation? Okay, here's a unicorn card, and this is the Nine of Swords in the reverse, right? This is how your progress can be made, okay? Now, your progress can be made by actually stop staying in your head, right? Because the Nine of Swords is somebody who can't sleep, they're in their head, they're struggling to make sense of things. But because you are moving beyond this sorrow, you're actually able to make sense of what happened. So you understand now what has happened in your life, what has brought you to this point, and how you're going to move forward. Okay? Still in that King of Swords energy, right? You gain that wisdom, you gain that experience, and now you are taking authority over your own life, over your own mind, over your own heart, realizing what you need to do to move forward, to be triumphant, to get that justice that you deserve, because you totally understand now what has happened and what you must do to move forward. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clarify these cards, so maybe we can get a little bit more of a perspective on what's going on. Why is this Two of Wands here for the viewer? Why is this Two of Wands here for the viewer? Why are they feeling this way? Why is the viewer feeling this way? Why is this Two of Wands here? So, the person is you're feeling this way because whatever you've gone through and whatever debate you need to have or conversation you need to have with an individual was caused by a three-party situation about heartbreak, right? So I do also see here that your efforts will definitely be rewarded from this situation, okay? Excuse me. It appears that you will have a conversation with an individual, and you will definitely move beyond this sorrow because now you do understand your own feelings. Ace of Cups. We mermaid for each other, you guys. We mermaid for each other. It's kind of funny. Okay, my eyes just kind of flipped in the glass. So that's basically the universe telling me that yes, you were made for a certain individual. Eight of Swords. You know this, and you're kind of stuck thinking about this person, okay? You know that justice should be had here, okay? Now, you're kind of a little tiny bit stuck in your head about it, right? You know the reason for your recent heartbreaks, and perhaps you're realizing karma. You're understanding that possibly the things in the past that were done or somebody has done to you was not fair. It was done without reason. Excuse me. Wow, and we have the Ace of Cups again. So double clarification that you know what you need to do. And that's having a conversation, a passionate conversation or debate with a certain individual. We also have the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords in this deck is telling me that there was a possible disappointment, or there has been a possible disappointment between you and this other person, right? Or you and this other situation. This situation has proved to be a very difficult situation for you. But you are trying your hardest to make sense and move past this, right? Wanting to have justice, wanting to be fair to a certain individual. Let's find out why we have this Nine of Cups here in regards to whether or not you're on the correct path. Why is this Nine of Cups here, please? Why? Okay. So the first cards that came out, which all happen to be in the reverse, we have the Knight of Wands. Now, this says, eating a raw oyster is like kissing a mermaid. I don't know, maybe you guys might like oysters. I don't fancy them. But this is definitely in the reverse. The Nine of Cups energy is about finding that wish fulfillment, finding that happiness within your life, right? Also within yourself, but it can also indicate a sort of selfishness and excess. You or the person that you're dealing with may have been pretty selfish, not understanding, you know, the realization of a relationship or this job situation. Somebody was confused, okay? Perhaps led on a path that wasn't beneficial for them. They were looking at all the fancy, the colors, the rainbows, the sweetness of a situation, but they found that it actually wasn't as wonderful as they thought it was going to be. And this person has possibly, this Knight of Wands, has possibly lost their passion for this entire situation because it just wasn't all cracked up to what they thought it was going to be, right? So it appears here that even though it was somebody's wish fulfillment, it wasn't really the correct path to move in. We have the Five of Swords in the reverse. So, the Five of Swords to me is a card about, lying. Somebody who used lies to actually deceive another person, right? But they're starting to see the disappointment that they have caused for others. Okay, not just for you, but possibly for others, or you could possibly be seeing the disappointment that you caused for others, right? And perhaps before you just didn't notice it, but you do now, you or this other person. Now we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse, and it's telling me whatever situation that you have actually put yourself in, or this other person, is not really, it's not really worth fighting for, right? Like you're feeling like you want to give up, right? Because you have finally seen the clarity in the situation. And you are definitely seeing that this is not the new life that you wanted, right? Like I said, you know, wish fulfillment. You thought you wanted something. It seemed great on the outside. You may have even thought this was your sunshine, because this card is also the card of the sun, which is the happiest card of the deck. Positive, fun, warm, successful, and full of vitality. But here you're beginning to see that it's not really what you thought it was. Maybe on the outside it was fantastic, it looked great. But on the inside it was quite the opposite. And you're starting to see this in the situation now. Why do we have this Seven of Swords here for the viewer in regards to what is the main obstacle here? What is the main obstacle? Also, two cards in the reverse, we have the Knight of Wands again. This one says, unicorns are awesome. I am awesome, therefore I am a unicorn. Well, maybe you thought in the past that you were just so wonderful and you found something wonderful, but in reality, it just wasn't what you thought it was, or this person wasn't what you thought it was. This person or the situation, whatever the situation is, it wasn't as fantastic as a unicorn. Because here, you know, unicorns are awesome, but because it's in the reverse, this person or this situation just was not awesome at all. Okay? You guys, let me just turn down the music a tad. All right. So the next card here, we have the King of Wands, also in the reverse. It says, be yourself. Unless you can be a mermaid, then always be a mermaid. It's in the reverse, though. So it appears that this person who you might have thought was so wonderful, you know, wonderful like a mermaid, was actually not. You know, and, you know, the mermaids are beautiful, and they're, you know, they're beautiful, and they're happy, they're swimming, they're joyous, you know, swimming in the water, full of emotions. But this person was quite the opposite. Not exactly as awesome as a unicorn or even a mermaid, right? Is there anything else you can tell us about this Seven of Swords, please, in regards to what is the main obstacle? What is the main obstacle for this person in regards to this Seven of Swords energy? Anything else to say? Okay. So what has actually happened here in this situation is we have the Three of Pentacles. This is something that you really wanted to work on. So this could have been, you know, something that you've experienced before. You might have went back to it to try to work on it, to try to work things out, right? And the main obstacle here was you trying to get there to actually have triumph with this situation. You're trying to come up with an inventive solution to move forward and work this out with a certain individual or a certain job or a certain situation. We also have the Ace of Wands here, and this says summer goal, become a mermaid. So something may actually happen in the summertime. You may want to work something out during that time. Possibly you're going through some healing right now because there was some deception that happened in your life. You do want to move away from it. You want triumph over this situation. You're trying to come up with a solution of healing for yourself because whatever situation you were in was just not the greatest situation. And I'm seeing here that healing needs to happen, and healing will happen. You will gain that strength because the Ace of Wands is also the Strength card. And this is about overcoming some sort of desires, right? Building trust and courage within yourself, within your own heart. So you could be actually, you or another person could actually be going through this healing process. And it might, take as long as to going into the summertime, the summer months. Why is this Three of Swords here in regards to what is helping the viewer or the person in question or another person, right? What is helping this person? Why is this Three of Swords here? So we have the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands, and it's in the reverse. And to me, this is, a soulmate or twin flame situation, right? This is about union, but this union is not the proper union, okay? You may have dealt with a soulmate, but some soulmates are there to teach us lessons. We learn our lessons and we move on. And it appears that whatever situation you were in was a soulmate situation, but it was the kind of soulmate situation where a lesson needed to be learned. Now, you may be mad or have resentment over this, but to be quite honest, the best thing to help you here is to actually forgive, understand, and actually appreciate that soulmate for teaching you something, okay? I feel that everybody who comes across us in our own lives is a soulmate to some level, right? Even that person that you might even chit-chat with while you're waiting for the bus or standing in line somewhere. That person is actually, speaking to you, and when you speak to them, new ideas are brought up, things maybe that you've never known. So anybody in your life can be a soulmate. And everybody in your life, you can learn from that situation. You can learn from a conversation. For anything that happens with that person, something is, knowledge is always to be gained here. We do have the Nine of Swords here, okay? And the Nine of Swords is telling me, excuse me, the Nine of Swords here is telling me that you're still struggling to make sense of why this situation didn't work out. Well, it didn't work out because there was some sort of heartbreak here, three-party situation. Somebody may have been going outside the relationship and finding, that extra love somewhere else, right? Somebody was very, somebody's heart was fragile, and somebody did something to actually crush that heart. And it could have been somebody that you or the other individual, whoever, was in a relationship with. So you gotta, swap the roles how you feel you need to. Because if you're a single person, you might have been the one that this person stepped out of the relationship with. Or if you're with this person, you or this person stepped out of the relationship and caused this three-party situation, right? And you might be still struggling to make sense of these events because why did it happen to you, right? So what's helping you right now, even though the Knight of Swords is, struggling to make sense of these events and being up in your head, I do feel that you will figure out why this happened. I kind of sense that you actually know why this happened, and you still might have some struggles in regards to your heart space, okay? Because yes, you were hurt, and maybe you thought you were the perfect mate, that you were doing the right thing, but somebody here was just not. Okay, let's see if we can get anything else out for that Three of Swords energy. Anything else for that Three of Swords, and what is helping an individual in this situation? Three of Pentacles. Okay, so what's actually helping you now is that you're not putting any effort into the situation that has caused you heartbreak, right? You've decided to let it go. You or the individual has decided to let this situation actually go, right? Maybe you were hanging on to it. Maybe you were holding on tightly, but you actually decided to let it go. Maybe you're going to move off into a different direction, but you are working hard on trying to figure things out. Definitely not working on the situation, possibly thinking about how you're going to move forward, right? Let's go ahead and find out, finally, how progress can be made in this situation with this Nine of Swords, right? This Nine of Swords, definitely, again, how progress can be made? Well, you need to make sense of what has happened in the past. What is this Nine of Swords doing here for the viewer or the person in question? Why is this Nine of Swords here for the viewer? This Nine of Swords is in the reverse, right? You may have actually figured it out. You may actually understand now what's going on, and you're trying to figure out how can progress be made because you're no longer stuck in a situation that has caused you heartbreak. Whoa. Let me get these. So the first card we have here is the Knight of Pentacles, right? It's in the reverse, though. So your finances might be, not so great right now. And it could actually be because of this situation. There could have been some deception. Somebody may have stolen from you or lied to you. But this card says there's a million fish in the sea, but I'm a mermaid. And that is true. There's a lot of people out there, but we are all individuals, right? And somebody may have stepped out and tried to check out all these fish in the sea, but they might have figured out that there's only one person for them, right? And you might realize that you belong to a certain individual. And this could indicate this twin flame type of energy. Perhaps also you're not actually seeing this as truth right now. You might have a little bit of an idea, but I feel like you're still a little skeptical about it, right? And the reason being is because you're unbalanced here, because the Knight of Pentacles is about somebody trying to work on their stability, the balance in their life. But I see there's a lot of imbalance in your life or another individual's, because you could be a totally balanced person, but maybe the person you're thinking about is very unbalanced right now. And they're having a hard time moving forward. And they might actually even be, trying to check out what else is out there, because this situation has actually broke them down. Possibly their ego has been shot somehow, right? Maybe going out, trying to date, and trying to see who's out there because maybe they're feeling inadequate. And being with other people might bring them a sense of adequacy. But at this present time, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of imbalance here. Even though somebody may have made sense of the situation, there's still that feeling of imbalance, that somebody has left them feeling just not good enough, right? We have the Four of Swords in the reverse. And this is about, the Four of Swords is about somebody being tired of a situation, just fed up. This card is also the Death card, right? But in the reverse, somebody may be, they might be still tired, but I do see that they do not want a certain situation to end, right? They might be in their head about it, right? This is a cycle of creation and destruction, but it's also a card of renewal. So somebody might actually be thinking about something from the past and possibly bringing something back to the surface to give it another try, right? Not wanting a certain situation to end that possibly might have ended because somebody was dishonest or somebody was deceptive in some way, right? And now somebody is trying to say, wait a minute, something happened here. I went the wrong direction and I realized that I might have made a mistake. So now somebody is trying to revive something from the grave, right? Reviving something that has died or trying to revive something. We also have the Queen of Pentacles here. So we could be dealing with the Queen of Pentacles, but as you see, this is in the reverse. This card says, seals are just dog mermaids. Oh my gosh, it's so foolish, right? It's so funny. So when it comes to the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles is basically a very nurturing person, a very giving person, but this person also has a sort of a bond between the internal and the external. This person has, really gotten in touch with their subconscious, right? Now, it's a very difficult thing to do. It takes a lot of dedication into actually diving deep within their own subconscious to try and figure out themselves, right? Trying to figure out their past traumas, why they act certain ways, why they attract certain individuals, why their temper is short, or why they're so sensitive. It could be just so many different things, okay? But I do see this Queen of Pentacles is really trying to have more trust and faith in humanity, basically, right? Because maybe she has lost that trust. Now, at this present time, the trust is lost here. This Queen of Pentacles could have lost trust for an individual who has actually deceived her. Now remember, you can be this energy if you're a male. This is a female energy. But either way, you can be a male or female in this energy, being very nurturing and giving and all that stuff, all the good stuff, right? But I do see there's imbalance here, and that is because there has been trust or loyalty that has been lost here, right? Somebody was deceived. Somebody broke another person down, made them feel lack, right? Made them feel unworthy. Somebody's ego may have been shot here, okay? Shot down, right? And this is about somebody wanting to revive something, but they have to go within first, right? Maybe they understand their conscious, but not quite understanding their subconscious, not realizing why they're in these situations, what has brought them there. So somebody here definitely kind of getting the sense of knowing that whatever has happened to them in the past and the things or situations they've gone through is a result of their own energies and what they actually put out in the universe, right? If somebody was very deceptive, they weren't honest, they weren't loyal, possible cheating and lying and all that, all they basically did was put that energy out into the universe, and what happened next was the universe brought that into them. Okay? And, you know, that's where we have to really, really dig deep and figure out our internal and external environments, right? Trying to figure out, why do I keep attracting these kind of people? Well, are you that type of person yourself? Because if you are, this is the main reason that you are attracting this type of energy, right? This could be you or the other person, remember, okay? I'm saying you, but I don't mean you specifically. I'm saying you as general population, right? Now we do have the Six of Pentacles. So in this situation that you were in, or whoever was in, there was not a sense of equal give and take, because somebody here was giving to you, but they were also giving to another individual, right? And that possibly could have made you feel like you weren't good enough, or you weren't enough for this person. And that's why it led you to this situation. Now, how progress can be made here is by you understanding equal give and take, right? Knowing that you want to find somebody who's going to love you equally, or who's going to put into the relationship equally, just like you do. Because in the past, there was a lot of deception. There was a lot of lies. There was a lot of, you know, things that just were not right. Okay? I do see that you do have a lot of love in your heart. You had a lot of love for a certain individual or individuals, right? This person could have actually loved more than one person because of not even really realizing what love really was. Maybe they thought that lust was love. So they might have been around all over the place thinking, oh, all these people love me. But in actuality, it was lust. And these people really don't love you. They're just lustful, possibly like you are, right? You are the other person. And I do see here now that there might have been past people who may have actually hurt you, and you don't understand, or they don't understand why they were hurt, right? And now I think they're starting to kind of understand why this is going on in their lives. And they're trying to possibly make a change in their life to heal, right? So you are wanting to have a conversation with a certain individual that you may actually think highly of, right? You may also think that this person is wish fulfillment for you, all right? And you are on the correct path if you're going towards the person who is not that deceptive person, right? Maybe you know who that is, or maybe that person knows who that is, right? Now, the main obstacle is actually you possibly deceiving yourself by putting negative energies out into the universe, not quite understanding, or not quite flowing with what you actually believe. Maybe you know these things, maybe things are coming to light right now, but for some reason the subconscious is not really allowing that knowledge in. So that's where we know that healing needs to come in, because maybe you have been traumatized to the point to where your subconscious is you know, holding on to whatever that trauma is. Feeling lack, feeling unloved, feeling uncared for, this type of situation, right? Not actually finding your other half and always feeling like there's something missing in your life. Always having that feeling. Always feeling like you're not going to move forward properly. You're not going to find that happiness. Well, that's a mindset that needs to be banished from your subconscious. And the way to do that would be to actually, you know, do some meditation. Possibly doing some meditations in regards to your chakras, right? You might have some closed chakras that need repair, that need opening. And there's a lot of ways to do that. And one of the most important ways, I feel, is consulting with spirit, right? Consulting with spirit about your issues. Possibly asking your angels for help, your angels for guidance. And if you don't think you have any, or if you don't know you have any, well, I want to let you know that you do. Maybe you're somebody that doesn't really believe in that, you know, but I mean, if you're here, I'm assuming that you do. All right? And if you do, it's time to ask for help. Maybe you do know you have guardian angels, but have you ever really asked for their help? If you haven't, it's about time you do. And you can do that by just simply asking, you know, asking your angels or your ancestors or spirit, whoever it is you pray to, is there any way they can help you to move forward from this heartbreak? Is there any way that they can bring you some sort of sign or message or dream even to help you realize what's been going on and how can you heal from this? It's also beneficial for you to use a sort of like a dream journal. Keep that by your bedside, you know, because maybe you might be having dreams and you're like, why am I dreaming this? Well, right when you wake up, jot that information down. And you can actually go on the internet and look up dream interpretation. And you can find out why or what these messages are. Because if you have some really clear and vivid dreams, it's most likely the universe, God, your angels, your ancestors, whoever it is that you do pray to, they're actually trying to send you messages. And these are messages of healing and understanding, okay? Now, what's helping you is realizing that heartbreak is not the way to go. And maybe you have been heartbroken, right? But maybe you have also broken other people's hearts. And maybe this past heartbreak was really, really harsh on you. It was so harsh that you have finally reached that trauma sensitivity level, right? Maybe your trauma sensitivity level was really high. So anything could be done to you and you kind of just brushed it off your shoulder and moved on, right? It didn't really faze you. You didn't really learn from it. But this time, something happened. This heartbreak that occurred in your life involving some sort of union or some sort of situation. Maybe you tried to work something out with someone and it didn't work out, right? But from this ending or from this heartbreak, you finally reached that top plateau of your trauma sensitivity level. You know, this was something that you couldn't brush off your shoulders. This is something that hit home, that really, really hurt you. And that's what has started this healing journey for you. Understanding what has been going on in the past and what you can actually have in the future. Okay? Now, progress that can be made for you is to not really stay in your head so much, okay? You may have struggled in the past to make sense of what's going on. But I think you finally figured it out. And I'm thinking here that you need to get out of your head if you're not, okay? If you are, you know, getting out of your head, then I do see that you might be actually realizing that you need to ground yourself. You need to find more stability in your life. You're tired of actually dealing with these people who are coming into your life and just causing, you know, maybe some financial difficulties, some difficulties when it comes to your confidence, possibly your self-worth, things like that. You may have actually dealt with a Queen of Pentacles who was not all they were cracked up to be. You thought this was the way of comfort, the way of stability, but it actually wasn't, because this person was sharing their, was being generous with another person, possibly sharing their generosity with more than just you. Okay? And, you know, I just let those words flow, all this whole explanation that I did. So that was basically Spirit letting me tell you what's going on in your life and how you can go from point A to point B and finally have, you know, stability and progress and happiness in your life, okay? Hopefully you understand that. I don't quite understand everything I said. It kind of goes in one ear and, you know, out the mouth, and then that's it. You know, I'd have to definitely rewatch the video to see what exactly the words that were coming out or what was actually said. But I have a feeling that you might understand everything I spoke about, okay? I do also see here that progress will be made in your life with personal healing, okay? By trying to open up the chakras, possibly communication with spirit, angels, ancestors, universe, whoever that is that you actually relate with. And I do see definite positive outcome here through healing. Okay. So I do want to leave you with true love energy, right? Happy, friendly, and loving. You have nothing to fear because Spirit is on your side and Spirit has your back. Don't forget to ask for help because your angels are there to help you. And all you have to do is ask them for your help, for their help. As long as you remain calm, you remain cheerful and positive, you will definitely bring in substantial healing into your life. Okay? So that's all I have for you today for this I Love Unicorns and Mermaids reading, or I Love Mermaids and Unicorns reading, whichever way you like to say it. This is definitely a timeless reading, so whenever you watch it is when it was meant for you. My name is Mona. This is Kaleidoscope Dreams Tarot, and I'll speak to you guys next time.